Ladies and gentlemen, I am a United States citizen since 1980. I was living in India for the last 11 years on an OCI card. Since I was not getting the benefits from my employer, I decided to go to Atlanta, the nerve center of American politics. I left India on November 16 Indian time and reached Atlanta, Georgia, the local time and date on the same day in November 16. Upon reaching there, I checked in a hotel, and by the time I reached there, I was so sick that the cab driver took me to a hospital called Southern Regional Medical Center, 11 Upper Riverdale Road, Riverdale, Georgia, 30274. Here is a copy of my Medicare health stamp, given hospital part A. I also have part 2. This hospital was not my choice. It was a well-orchestrated plan to get Hispanics and blacks so that they can get the votes from those people, under a most ingenious plan devised by the players. I was admitted there. I was kept on a chair for 4 days. No medication whatsoever was given to me, although I am diabetic. At my insistence, one black doctor, I don't know his name, came and gave me a dose of insulin. No food was ever given to me. No breakfast, no lunch, nothing. Nobody bothered, because the attitude of the staff was very, very, very nasty. I never seen in my whole life a hospital treating a US citizen the same way they treated me. I don't know why, as if they had some bias or grudge. I was myself a director of administration at a hospital in New York by the name Brunswick Hospital, until that hospital closed down their doors because they didn't have the funds to give the poor treatment. That's a different story. The Southern Hospital, according to their record, I checked in on the 16th, November 23, and I was discharged against my will on 20th November 20th. What they were doing in the 4 days, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, I have no clue. Why they didn't give me any medication for my sugar, diabetes, my tension, they have no idea. I'm told this is a 321 bedded facility running into thousands of acres, which is publicly funded. I have now received a letter, email response, saying that to fill the forms. What is wrong with this hospital, Southern Regional Medical Center? Asking me for information. What the heck they were doing 4 days with my life? I have no clue. I paid 46,000 rupees, Indian rupees, to get a one-way ticket by plane by Qatar Airways. When I reached the airport, there is no sign of Qatar Airways. I want to come back to India after 20th. There is no ticket available. Then I was told we have to pay, instead of 40,000 we paid for one way, I had to pay 1 lakh and how much is it? 30,000? 30,000. That's a 300% rise in price. There is no machinery to enforce the Qatar Airways. The journey through the Qatar Airways was very comfortable. There is no room to sit. 11 people in a row. On my left, a Muslim couple and a child. On my right, there were French people. The Muslim people were given special food. I was given, even my dogs won't eat that kind of food, so was the other people. That creates bad impression about people coming to the from other countries to India or to the United States. Okay? So there are several issues which I wanted to bring it to your attention. Why Qatar Airways charged me 1 lakh and 30,000 for a one-way trip from Atlanta, Georgia to India. Why they provided lousy food which nobody wants to eat. Why I was made to sit below freezing point. The air hostess, nobody knew how to reduce the air conditioner. It was blowing and I was sweating. Not sweating, I was really freezing. These are matters the government of India, the authorities must investigate. At the airport, I had to call the police 3 times. One policeman came, took note of my complaint, but he didn't give me a copy. Second day, I was still sitting in the airport, and this time another policeman came with the video and everything. He took note of what I said. I was not given a copy. Why the treatment at the Georgia International Airport? I don't know. What is the mystery? Are these people being used in the hospital for election purposes, using them as whatever the pawns in their game plan? These are matters that should be thoroughly investigated by the United States government and the airline industry. Why I was called upon to pay. I hope the government of India and the government of the United States will thoroughly look into why I got no treatment. Although I had the coverage, full coverage, okay? They didn't care a damn. What did they do? Were they earned? These are matters that has to be investigated. I hope the governments of the United States of America and the government of India will investigate, go deeper into this. The overcharging, the uncomfortable travel, the type of food they provided to the non-Muslim persons. These are all important matters. It appears to me crystal clear the Qatar Air had overbooked their flight, and I was later on taken to a place where they kept my 2 boxes of luggage, and I was taken to a hotel room where I was allowed to sleep for a few hours. Then a person by the name Dennis came to me and asked me to get ready to go to the airport. When I was sitting at the airport, a young girl by the name Shiva came to me, whom I never met in my life. She came to me and brought me some food items which were sitting, very far away, beyond the men's room. Nobody knows unless you are familiar with the place. And I was surprised how a young girl who never I met in my whole life come to me. But I came to know later on, she said she's flying to a place in Canada called, I believe, I can't remember the name of the place, where my wife's sister was working many years ago, and she committed suicide there. So I forgot the name of the place, and she said she has to she has to fly there in another plane. So she left in a hurry, and after she left, she showed me the photo of her either husband or whoever he is, and said if you want to call him, his name is Dennis. And apparently she left for Canada, I believe Toronto, or no, not Toronto, it is somewhere else, which is far away. And this guy came, he came to me later, and he took me, get ready, go to, come with me. He took me to a hotel which was provided by Qatar Air, and I stayed there for a few hours, and he said I have to get ready to go right away to the airport. When I went to the airport, there is no plane. I had to sit there one full day. Then he said, you can't stay here, you will be arrested if you sit here. Then I was taken to the street, in the street, with my 2 boxes, camera, my laptop, and other things, all by myself. I fell down once on the street. Okay? So the reason why they were doing all this is they are overbooked. They are required by international convention to stay at a place, and they took for granted I will get a flight in the next plane, which they didn't, and I was left in the main road. They say it's a top security area. I tried to sleep, I couldn't sleep on the street, and these guys came to me, 3 of them, took my luggage, and took me to the hotel as I told you, and that's how I came back. So I wanted to add this so that if somebody has similar experiences, they can tell the world.